Hello to you. So happy to see you on our YouTube channel here at Improov. I'm Sandrine Gressard and I'm really pleased to welcome you here. We got some great videos to show you. This next one's really exceptional. I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as we had fun making it for you. Remember, you can subscribe to this channel to get all the other videos that we're coming out with on a regular basis. Make sure you don't forget to hit that bell so that you get notified, and give us a little like, of course, if you like it. And then we'll just play the video now so that you can enjoy it and learn how to be more efficient, how to save time, and how to enjoy life that much more. Key number 2, take back your day. Don't you just wish you could get just more control over your day? Let me put it out there with you. And I'm sure you're going to be nodding. And if I could see you nodding, I'd be like, yes, you're nodding at what I'm saying, because we've all gone through this. Has it ever happened to you where, like, Sunday night, you go to sleep and you think, hey, tomorrow's a new week. I want to get so much done on Monday. Friday, I ran out of time, but tomorrow I'm going to start this. I'm going to start this project. I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to finish the PowerPoint I worked on. And you're like going through in your head of like all the things you want to get done, right? And then you walk into the office and then somebody says to you, hey, can you come and speak to me? I need to talk to you about this. And then your phone rings and then a text message comes in, and then you get to your desk, and there's like a note on your desk about something urgent that has to be done that morning. And then you get into your email, and then basically you realize your whole day is not at all going as planned. Okay? And that can happen even without going to the office, right? You're working remotely, you're in your home office, you're sitting there, you're like, okay, new day, I'm going to get it all done. And then you open your Teams or your Outlook or whatever you start opening in the morning, and next thing you know, everything you had planned has just been kiboshed with other things that need to get done. Now, a lot of times that happens because people aren't actually blocking time in their agendas. So if you're not blocking time in your agenda to do the work you planned on doing, then people will just take that time and think that that time belongs to them. So let's see how we're going to do this differently. Let's see how we're going to really make it totally different. So either you have a full calendar without flexibility, where everything's like back to back to back to back to back and no time to breathe, or you probably have the opposite, which is you have way too much room in your calendar because there's nothing in it. Because the only thing that's in there is the meetings you have, but there's nothing else of what you're working on. And so people see a lot of openings and they see that you have time. Because the only way that your colleagues are going to know how busy you are is to look at your agenda and say, hey, she looks like she's available on Thursday afternoon. Oh, and Friday morning as well. And Friday afternoon as well. She only has like 2-3 meetings. Oh, I can ask her to do some work for me because she seems like super available. But that's because you didn't actually block your time. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we're going to block our time and how we're going to really take back our agenda so that the calendar belongs to us and not to anybody else. Again, here, I showed you before, we can drag this to make it bigger. So in this case, it's kind of nice to have it around here. And if you put it here for the calendar, you'll see that it works really well for the email as well. It's not too big. It's just perfect. So you want to be able to see your whole month here, and then your shared calendars and your calendars on your left-hand side. And then here, I don't know if you've noticed, but right now the intervals are 30 minutes. But you can actually change that with just 2 clicks. So you right-click here, and then you can change it to 15 minutes. Now, 15 minutes makes a really long schedule. But when you're planning, so if I go to next week and I want to plan my week and say, okay, when am I working on this? When am I starting this task? When am I focusing on this project? When am I building that PowerPoint presentation, etc.? Now I can really start working in 15-minute increments. And it can be very helpful to work that way. Now, you can bring it back to 30 like it was before. Or you can say, you know what, let me look at a 60-minute interval because I want to just see my week really quickly. And this, of course, is a little bit better than if you went to the month view, right? The month view, you wouldn't be able to see very much. But in this format, you get to see exactly how busy your week is. And I don't know if you noticed, it's a very subtle change, but there's a little difference in color between the white here and the kind of grayish color here. So this is gray because it says that you're working from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. To 6 p.m. So you can go change that in the settings here. You can go into change time zone, and that'll bring you to the same menu to actually change your workday and how it's set up. And that'll show people how much you work and which days you're off. So if you're having Fridays off, you can do that too. Okay. Now you can go back to 30 minutes because we like that as a intermediate measure. It's really great. You want to see your whole week. There it is. 30-minute increments. You get to see it all at once. Also, you might want to be more and more familiar with changing between a work week, your day mode, your week, including weekends, and your month. So that all happens here in the corner, but it also happens right here above. And you see when you're in the calendar, you can switch from week to work week to day to month really, really fast. Okay, so it's all just one click away. When you're in the day when you're in the day mode, there's a really neat shortcut that I want to share with you that's probably one of my favorite shortcuts of all time in Outlook. This shortcut I'm going to show you, it's going to be the shortcut you're going to use every time you want to plan something that is not on recurring days and times. For example, you say to your colleague, hey, we have to work on this project and I want to look at the next 3-4 weeks. I know my Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are really busy, but my Mondays and Fridays are usually a little bit more flexible. Can we see which Mondays and Fridays you and I could meet? You're on the phone with them and you're looking at your agenda and you want to see which days will work for you. Let me show you how you do that really, really fast. So what you do is you hold the control key. And as you hold the control key, you're going to go and choose Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. And I'll remove the 24th. So now what happens is you've got Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday for the next 1, 2, 3 weeks. Right there, looking at you. Now, I have set it up that Fridays I'm off. Let me go change that and say, you know what? I'm going to be working Fridays for the next little while because I've got too much stuff to do. And now my Fridays become available. So this is no longer a day off. I'm going to delete the occurrence. There. So now I have a visibility on all my Mondays, Fridays, Mondays, Fridays. But you can also say to somebody, hey, let's go for lunch. And Thursday lunch usually works best for me. So let's go and check out the next few Thursdays. And you can just click the 25th and the 1st and the 8th and go down to the next month. And, oh, sorry, you'll need 2 months for that. So you need to go when you're at the end of 1 month and you want the next one, you're going to have to do it this way. So you're going to do, let's do this again, 25th, 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. The whole time I'm holding the control key. That's how I get to do this. So now you can look at the 5 Thursdays, the week of 5 Thursdays. And you can say, okay, hey, Thursdays, right now the 1st and the 22nd are the best because they're the ones where I have nothing right before lunch. So I can do either or. And now you can give an answer super fast because you have a visual on your schedule. A lot of times what you're doing is you're like, well, what about the 8th? And you look at the 8th and go, yeah, well, I have something till 12. Okay, what about the 15th? Well, I got something. Okay, well, let's go. Well, what about the 1st? Okay, go back. And now you're going back and forth and you don't have that visual of what your days look like. You can do it in a week mode, but still you'll have to change from 1 week to the next and back and forth. So you can see how the control key is really an amazing shortcut. So let's go back to work week so we can have a view on our week. Let's go to next week and see what it looks like. And now I want to show you something really interesting is if you have your task list on the right-hand side here and you need to add a task inside your calendar, there's 2 ways you can do it. And I'll show you both ways that you can do it. One of them is you can just grab a task here and say, okay, well, this task that I really need to get done on Monday because I was supposed to start it yesterday and I haven't. So I'm going to get it done on Monday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it here and I'm going to go drag it to Monday, 3:30 p.m. And boom, there it is. So you see what happened is I took the task here and hang on, let me just take another one there in English. So this one. So now when I double click on it, it has everything in the task. And it has the email it came from. So I have all the information in one place. And it tells me I have to work on it for 1 hour. So I had already planned 30 minutes there and another 30 minutes here. I should be able to finish it. And I have an extra 30 minutes on the 24th, just in case I still have work to do. So now it's planned. So you see how I simply have to drag and drop. Another way I can do this, if I don't want to use a drag and drop, is I can go to the bottom of my screen here and look at the active tasks. And if I look at, if I add today to my list at the bottom here, you'll see that I'm going to have that task testing loop that's going to be here. And now I can grab the task and I can literally drag it to 3:30 p.m. and it'll do the exact same thing. So now I have made time in my agenda. I have blocked time in my agenda to make sure I work on this. The difference you're seeing between putting in your meetings in your agenda only and actually blocking time for you to actually get things done, that's how you take back control of your agenda. That's how you end up having your agenda work for you instead of you working for your agenda and for everybody else who needs you to do work for them. So you need to be able to say, you know what? I know what I have to do. I know what I want to accomplish this week. And the only way that's going to happen is if I stay focused and I actually block time in my agenda to get it done on top of the meetings, on top of my other obligations. All right. So let's look back at this and see what else we can do with other shortcuts to optimize this whole system. Let's say Monday rolls around and you were thinking of doing this because you said you're going to, and then an emergency happens here that now doesn't allow you to work on this. Well, you can just grab it and move it. And because this was supposed to be focus time, it's perfect. You can just reduce that and say, I'm going to focus here and I'm going to work on this next. So it's all focus time. So you see, by just grabbing it and moving it, it'll just move to wherever you want it to. But now let's say you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I need to add more focus time moments in my week because I only have these 1 hour here, 1 hour there, and a half hour. I want to add this, but I don't want to type it again. So what you'll do is you're going to hold the control key again. I told you it was your best friend. Control key, click, release the click, but keep your finger in the control. And there you go. It's going to duplicate whatever exists in there. So if you're in your focus time, you have written and you have links, those links, guess what? You know what's coming, right? They are right here. So it takes exactly what you have in one and it literally just duplicates it and makes an exact copy later in time. And if you say, well, you know what, I don't want it this time, I want it later on. At this point, you see the difference between that and making a recurring task? A recurring task would have to take place on the same days at the same time. By control clicking it, you're allowing to have that kind of flexibility. One last thing that I really, really love about the calendar is when I want to look at my calendar and somebody else's calendar and see when we're both available to meet. So I'm going to grab Maya's calendar and you see when I pressed on Maya's calendar, it appeared here on the right-hand side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click the arrow and now they will overlap. So whatever's in green is Maya and whatever's in blue is me. And I can very easily see when we have time to meet. So it just appears that on the 31st in the morning, we have time. We have actually different slots. And then if we want a whole hour, not too close to another meeting, probably Thursday, the 1st of June is probably best. So what we could do here is say, okay, well, let's meet on the 1st of June. And then the next thing that's really, really cool is if I select that 1 hour here, watch this. When I go to the left here, new meeting, I say meeting with all. Ta-da, there you go. I can do my meeting. The people have already been invited. I can add a Teams meeting if I want, put my title in and send it. I don't need to check now my scheduling assistant because I just did. I had both our schedules overlapped and it showed that we were both free. So I don't even need to do the scheduling assistant. I love this tool because it's really, really visual. And I find that having something that visual really, really works. So tip number 2 was how to manage your schedule by creating time blocks for important tasks and the famous control click. So make sure you remember that, and you can either take print screens or take notes to remember these little tricks. So I hope that you can see that learning these activities will allow you to save time for what really is important to you, what's essential. And at the end of the day, why do we do this? To relieve you of stress and confusion. Because, we actually do get stressed when we don't know what we need to be working on, when we feel like we don't have enough time, when we feel like our schedule just no longer belongs to us. And next thing we know, we're like thrown into one meeting and another. If you're blocking your time, people are going to see you're actually busy doing something else. And they might not throw you into all these meetings. And it is going to allow you to really accomplish the tasks and the projects that are super important to you and the company that you're working for. So this is going to help you personally as well, and it's going to help you professionally. So let's keep going. What's key number 3? We're going to show you a workflow that is going to allow you to use Outlook in a much simpler fashion and in a way that really flows from one to the next, just like a workflow should. So let's keep going back to our Outlook and let's check this out. You're probably wondering how I'm getting this task panel to show up on the right-hand side of my screen. So this is actually, I've put a little button here that you probably don't have either. It's called the quick access toolbar. And the quick access toolbar, you might not see it because sometimes it's actually above the ribbon. You might just have this turning arrows in this back, this undo, and then this little line. So if you have it up here, what you want to do is you want to click on it and say, show below the ribbon. So there it is. And then I've added buttons to it, but I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to remove them now, and then I'll add them back in so that you can see how to do it. So on the right-hand side of my screen, earlier, I had my taskbar. Well, in order to do that, you're going to want to go into View, then you'll see the To-Do bar, and then you'll see the tasks. But before you click on it, I'm going to invite you to right-click and do an Add to Quick Access Toolbar. And by doing that, there it is. Now you can show it, and now you can hide it. So you can toggle back and forth. When you're in the agenda, that's pretty much all you need. But when you're in the email, now you want to be able to show the tasks without squishing the preview, but you want to be able to see your tasks and then sometimes see the preview. So that's where the other buttons come in. So here you're going to go back to View, and we're going to add 2 more buttons. We're going to go into the reading pane. We're going to say right-click to the right one, and then we're going to go reading pane again, and then right-click on Off. And by doing that, you'll be able to remove the reading pane and have just the taskbar, or remove the taskbar and add the reading pane. So that's how you toggle back and forth between the different panes. So now I'm going to re-add the tasks because I'm in the calendar. As you can see, once we end up in the taskbar here, as soon as I will click in this area, watch what happens to the classic ribbon. I'm going to click on a task, and it's going to allow me to do a lot of different things here. I can mark a task as complete right here. I can remove it from the task list. I can put a flag on a different day. I can really do lots of different things. I can arrange it. I can add a category. I can do all of that from this contextual menu, or I can do it here directly in the task list. But I have 2 options as soon as I click on it. So you can add a task just by clicking right here and start typing. You can say, call Brian next Tuesday for quote update. Because Brian is somebody you're working with and you're asking him for a quote. And now what you want is you want to call him on Tuesday, the 23rd. And you're going to categorize it because it's for your marketing campaign. And now you're going to hit this button here, and you'll see that this task just showed up here on the bottom. And of course, it showed up on Tuesday, the 23rd, right? So now you're seeing it right there, and it's helping you really see exactly what you want to look at. Now, remember, we're in day mode here, which is why our week looks really strange. But if we go back into work week, we can see our next week, and we will see that call Brian is right here on the Tuesday. So you have it in both places. And of course, watch what happens. If I change it from the Tuesday to the Monday, because I want to give myself a buffer, as soon as I bring it to Monday, watch what happens, right? It's still here, but it just changed dates. So the 2 are just totally connected. It's the same element. We're just showing it in 2 different windows, but it's the same element. So was that neat? Did you learn a bunch of stuff? And are you just like completely pumped about what you can do now? Because now you got more time on your hands and more relaxed moments in life so that you're not so stressed and overwhelmed. That's the whole point of all of our videos. So we know we hit the spot. We know we can help you. And please remember to check back in here, hit that like button, hit the bell. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And we'll be coming out with more videos, more tips and tricks to show you how to be more efficient with technology or without, because efficiency is our middle name. Thanks for watching our Improov channel. Again, I'm Sandrine. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, morning, whatever time it may be. Bye for now.